What's going on, family? I got a little banger for you, which is going to allow you to claim more of your power and your freedom in this journey towards wealth, towards abundance, and prosperity. So, when we can really feel connected to the energy of wealth, of money, of our divine birthright, that our true selves and our true identities are infinitely abundant. When we can tap into the feeling in this present moment and we can, in a way, close the doors to these false selves or these false egos, these little voices in our heads that tell us that we can't do that. And I found that a lot of the time I'm doing this work with, I've done it for myself and for other clients, and we tend to believe that we are a lot of these traits that I'm about to go into. And I want you to make that connection of how this affects your ability to be a magnet for more money, for more abundance, for more wealth that is aligned, that is fulfilling, that is joyful to receive. Because when we can remove or integrate these characteristics of the personality, when we can acknowledge and understand that we are not them when they come into our thoughts, then we step into our power. We have more power to visualize as our true self through our own divinity, right? Tapping into that consciousness of God within us. So this mini lesson is all about presence and freedom, and how to break free from this little voice inside your head. When we do this, everything changes. So I want you to connect with these few moments with me, and we can go straight into it. I want you to see this very clearly, the characteristics of the ego versus the characteristics of your true self. Anything that comes into your consciousness as a thought or as a feeling or through your spoken word that is self centered, that is seeking validation, that is unfulfilled, that is resistant to change, focus on the past or in the future, that is creating judgment for yourself or other people, or a lot of inner criticism or separation, that is the ego. That is not your true self. That is the mind trying to hook you. Imagine the ego, what it does is it tries to give you these baits, and you are the fish, and it's trying to see if you can, you know, are you going to get hooked? Are you going to go on this roller coaster where I convince you that you are me? And so the ego will always take you into the past or into the future. And then we get caught up in these prisons, in these inner criticisms and shame and guilt cycles. And then that is related to our ability to expand our wealth and our money beyond the mental limits that we put on ourselves. So when we take this step and we say, you know what, all of these characteristics of the mind, I will stop accepting those suggestions. The characteristics and your ego have no power on their own. I want you to really contemplate this. Your ego has no power. The only one who can give power to your ego is you. So if it has no self sustaining power at any time, by you shifting your attention and focusing on the opposite characteristics, you start to gain the power back and give it to your true self. So, how does the ego feed off you? How does it trick you with this identity theft and it takes over you? Is by throwing you these thoughts of separation and lack and scarcity, and there's never enough, or all of these limiting beliefs and programmings of money that maybe we inherited from our parents or society. So we can start closing the door there. We can stop accepting those suggestions, and we can redirect our attention. That's how we stop giving power to the ego, and we can start redirecting the attention into the truth. We need to accept the truth in order to be transformed, in order to embody our true self, our divinity. And these are the characteristics below: abundance, prosperity as a natural birthright. Imagine being able to wake up and feeling so abundant, so wealthy, even perhaps if the money, all of the money that you've been desiring hasn't yet manifested in the physical. If you can feel the abundance flowing like a mighty river, that you're connected to it, that you are one with this abundance, with this money, you are calling it and magnetizing it into your world. And you're the only one who can do that, to open the doors, put your attention there, and remember your divine heritage, your divinity. And we can go into the characteristics of your true self. So the only task that we have at hand is to stop accepting the ego as ourselves and to start accepting and loving our true self, which is God within us. And that's when we can start to live heaven on earth, truly, on all dimensions: inner peace, acceptance, love, authenticity, creativity, curiosity, compassion, inner wisdom, gratitude, and connection. These are all your traits of your true self. So if you're experiencing any sort of sickness or lack in the financial world, I want you to know that this is an appearance. This is not your truth. Contemplate deeply on this. Who is sick? Who is having lack? Who has the scarcity mindset, or the scarcity consciousness? Is not your true self, is the ego. And so if we when we believe that that is us, that's when we manifest lack into our experience, because we are unconsciously, unknowingly accepting that reality as our own. So you can see how important this work is to build up your presence so that you can create space between you and your ego, so that you never forget who you truly are: the daughter, the son of God. And if we are made to the image of God, then that means that we are also sharing those qualities, those attributes of God. Unlimited wealth, money, it starts all in a state of consciousness. That's been my experience. The more that I acknowledge and contemplate this true nature, the more things start to align in order. And instead of me chasing, like I used to do with my ego, of having to work hard and forcing stuff and being extremely overproductive and being a workaholic and getting very average results, now, I got to step into this sense of mastery, of waking up and embodying this identity of things come to me, and I take aligned action, of course. But I realize, right, when we realize we are the sons and daughters of God, we need to realize that our true power is not in the physical world, in the manifest world. It's here. It's in our energy. It's the picture that we are unwaveringly seeing and sensing and feeling as our reality. So if you're looking for clarity, if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking for abundance and organization in your life, if you're seeking the action steps on what to do to grow your wealth and your prosperity, it starts with this shift in identity, and then using that shift in identity to feel and see that reality, knowing that that desire is the pure energy of God going out, imprinting your desire into the universal substance and bringing it into the world. And then you get the synchronicities, the coincidences, the people that you need to meet. It is a fact, it is a law, it is the truth. And I just want to invite you to no longer fall for that story of your mind that tells you that the only way that you can achieve is through hard work, is through grinding, and burning yourself out. That is the old paradigm of lack and scarcity. And we're collectively shifting into a new paradigm of true abundance and operating from this God power within. I'll close out this lesson to not make it that long by saying that the first step in shifting our identity comes in the recognition of the present moment. The present moment is all there is. Because if we tend to lose ourselves in anxiety and stress, in inner criticism or judgment or separation, it's because there isn't enough space between our true self, the seat of consciousness, and the patterns of the ego. So we need to make the present moment the main priority of our lives. This is where everything happens. There is no past or future, there is only the eternal now. And any other stories that tell you otherwise, to go into the future or the past, is your ego feeding off your energy, mentally being in the future, creating anxiety, or mentally being in the past, creating depression. So treat the present moment as the most important relationship in your life, because the relationship with the present moment is the relationship that you have with life itself, which is everything around you. So that is my invitation for you today. I appreciate you. Hope that you connect with this message in your heart and the truth that is being transmitted in this message. We'll talk soon. All the best, and share anything in the comments, any feedback, any questions, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Cheers.